Hello everybody, it's Dr. JJ with Pinnacle Chiropractic, serving families in Bradenton and Sarasota area. And today we're going to talk about those parents that are dealing with maybe croup, RSV, other immune system challenges. And we know as first-time parents or parents in general, a lot of times those first couple of years of life, parents are a little bit heightened and worried about their babies coming down with RSV, croup, and other respiratory immune system challenges. But out of all of those, RSV and the complications that come along with RSV usually become the most challenging out of all of those. And RSV can become very serious, especially for infants infants and immunocompromised adults even. So RSV is the most common cause of inflammation of the small areas within the lungs and the most common cause of pneumonia, which is an infection of the lungs in children that are younger than the age of 1. Typically, it's most common from late fall to early springs when stress levels are up, sugar consumption is high, and we do have some dipping temperatures even here in Florida, but not quite like up north, of course. But it's still, all of those things affect the immune system's response rate, essentially, and how bogged down it is from other stressors. So that is why we usually see an increase in cases of RSV, especially here recently. And in the past 2 to 3 years, there has been a heck of a lot more staying inside, more high stress, and avoiding germs and pathogens to a heightened degree more than ever. And a lot of those times, those germs and pathogens actually serve to strengthen the immune system and build resilience in young children's immune systems. So let's dig into how your child can prevent and overcome RSV and other respiratory and immune system challenges. So if you're a mom whose baby or toddlers struggle or have struggled with immune challenges, these immune challenges often stem from early birth trauma and unsolved tension up there, such as birth or C-section at birth. And that usually, when it goes on for a long time and is unchecked, grows into more congestion, lack of drainage, ear infections, and then there's more mucus and fluid and inflammation. All these things move into the upper and lower lungs. And while still today, most parents are led to believe that germs, viruses, and bacteria alone are the cause of illnesses, there is way more to it than just that. You can put 2 kids in the same room, and oftentimes one may get sick and one may not. So there is something to be explained, and we're going to talk about that, especially with the nervous system. While yes, it's true for young children and infants that their immune system, their digestive system, and their nervous system overall are still developing and maturing, it's not as if they don't have defenses at all. That's a fallacy. So the child's internal defense system is really made up of 4 major individual systems, and they all work together to keep us healthy. And those 4 systems are going to be the nervous system, the respiratory system, the immune system, and the digestive system, your gut. And let's first take a look at probably the most important system, and you know that I'm going to say it if you know me, the nervous system. And if the nervous system is overly stressed out and out of balance and is more in that fight or flight state, that sympathetic side of things, which we often call subluxated here, it's likely that those key systems will struggle as well, meaning that the nervous system controls immune function, gut function, and the respiratory system. So if that nervous system is the first key and it's stressed out, it's going to have effect on all the rest below. So after struggling through RSV, and I'm going to talk about a patient that we had, William, and after struggling with RSV for a few weeks, when he first had life, or first was born, I don't know why I said it like that, but William's parents were very overwhelmed. Not only were they first-time parents, but they were dealing with a kiddo with RSV, and they felt like he was never the same after that, and his challenges kept compiling. So not only did he have the RSV, then he had sleep struggles, he had silent reflux, and overall extreme discomfort. He was not a happy camper. After trial and error and spending hours on Google for mom and only hearing from his doctors that, hey, he would grow out of it and will monitor it, immune struggles kept coming back, and mom said she knew in her heart that something more was going on with William. So that's word to the wise for you, mom. Listen to your mom gut. More than likely, you are right. And after more and more looking, she finally stumbled on pediatric chiropractic. When William had completely conquered his care plan, their lives completely changed. They literally were coming in basically saying, hey, we want to give a testimony. You've literally changed our life. And William was sleeping better. He was able to turn his head better. And everybody described him as a happy baby with a neurologically fortified immune system, essentially. So we emphasize the nervous system first in this video on purpose, of course, because what we know is that the nervous system's job is to control, regulate, and modulate all those other systems like I was talking about. And not only those, the respiratory immune system and respiratory immune system and digestive system, but other systems on top of that, of course. And this was especially key when we're talking about William, because if a child's nervous system is stressed out and not functioning properly, the child is going to have a condition which is known as dysautonomia, which causes the other three key systems that we talked about to be compromised, and then they often start to experience dysfunction in the following ways. So, decreased respiratory motility or movement. So that's not being able to keep the viruses like RSV from moving through and clearing out the nose, throat, and airway or lungs. Number 2, decreased immune responsiveness and increased or excessive mucus production, which is an inflammatory response. And the thirdly, is decreased digestive motility or movement, working just like the respiratory system. Not virus and germs, that's where they go. The gut usually eliminates them for us because of the high pH, meaning acidity in the gut helps clear those out. But if it's not moving efficiently, just like in the lungs, it can't kill those viruses as well too. It has time to harbor there and fester. So there's really, we're talking about RSV, there's no really specific medical treatment, and oftentimes what is just usually given is steroids or antibiotics, which really aren't documented to have a significant impact on a viral infection. That's the key word, viral, not bacterial. And so an RSV is a viral infection, as the name suggests, because of this prevention and responsiveness of the human's body is key. This involves helping your child be comfortable. So the key is getting the system up online and ready to act, not being bogged down by extra tension other places in the body. So really the key is making sure that we're strengthening the function of the neuroimmune system to improve drainage and movement of mucus, congestion, and getting it out of the body. And of course you want to encourage as much rest as possible, and also doing some of the following things, such as using a nasal saline or gentle suctioning of the nose, cool mist humidifier, encouraging additional rest and sleep, encouraging frequent feedings, fluids. Staying hydrated is absolutely key. If you know me, carry a jug around, and don't fool around with just water, because there is something called polarity. You need electrolytes in it as well, or you're going to be dehydrated if you just drink a whole bunch of water too. But that's for another story. Let's keep on going with RSV and immune health. So also you can add healthy foods into your diet, immune boosting, such as and other pathogen fighting vitamins, supplements, and herbs and essential oils. So nature's medicine cabinet, if you will. And one of the most important keys, of course, is going to be getting your child under chiropractic care, or if you're already under chiropractic care, adding a boost when you notice that immune system is a little bit more bogged down. And while that last key point, chiropractic care, isn't something as easily or commonly found on your shelf at your store or something like that, of course, or your pharmacy, it is an absolute game changer, let me tell you. Adjustments cannot only just remove those stuck, trouble-causing subluxations in the short term, but they also handle that term that I talked about earlier, dysautonomia, which is that lack of communication between the nervous system to those systems. And other more long-standing neurological challenges that may be underlying the frequent colds, congestions, and respiratory infections. The most important thing to focus on with RSV is prevention. That's the easiest thing. If you do that, you make your life a whole lot easier versus playing catch up. And if your child is very young or has added risk factors such as premature birth, extended NICU stay, birth trauma, C-section, vacuum suction, you name it, or frequent use of antibiotics and steroids, then be sure to follow proactive and resilient building steps the most that you can. So doing things like chiropractic, doing things like those saline suctions and everything like that. Preventative care is the best kind of care, folks. So remember, if you're struggling just like William did, and after he completed his plan, his life completely changed. He was sleeping better. He was able to turn his head better. And really, everyone said that he was a happy baby. And that's what we want for every mom, dad, and baby, is to be able to use their immune system and use their whole body more effectively and with ease to optimize your health, essentially. And I'll never forget William, because William's mom went on to say that with continued care, his body has been able to manage sickness so much better than without it. And instead of having to turn to ER visits and medications because of his sickness and how his sickness would escalate so quickly, they went and they turned to adjustments to help strengthen and fortify that immune system so it was able to respond to viruses more readily and without any of the side effects of medications. So if this sounds like you, if you know a family or someone struggling with RSV, please leave a comment, send a DM, share this video with them. We would love to see how we can help them optimize their life, optimize their nervous system, which controls the immune function, and leave RSV, croup, and other respiratory diseases to the side, folks. Peace and love. Talk to you soon. See you in the office.